Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. Baseball ends the regular season in award-winning style. Iron Mike Award. A fantastic Philly deserves a singular distinction for all-around play, and we'll pay him his proper tribute. Roger Over and Out Award, honoring a praiseworthy double prize winner who pulled up the Sox all through their blue ribbon season. Great Scott Award, an astronomical pitcher who was the key to a crowning moment, earns our top kudos, so hats off. One-of-a-kind award. We salute a rare individual who drew accolades a decade ago. So stay tuned as we congratulate one and all right here on This Week in Baseball. Celebrating our 10th anniversary.
Well, I'd like to wish This Week in Baseball a very, very happy 10th anniversary. And to Mel Allen, you've been marvelous.
This Week in Baseball is brought to you by Rolaids. For acid indigestion or heartburn, Rolaids spells 100% relief. The envelope, please. This Week in Baseball announces our choices for the top awards of 1986. Philadelphia's Mike Schmidt is our selection as most valuable player in the National League. At age 37, Mike had one of the finest seasons of his 15-year career, batting .290 and leading the league in homers with 37 and RBIs with 119.
Obviously, it'd be a great honor to win that award. That award a lot of times goes to a player who's having a great year, leading his team to a title. And for me to win the MVP award, it would take extraordinary numbers. It's something that the people who have that vote would have a tough time overlooking. And obviously, one of my goals is to put together that kind of a year so that when MVP voting comes around, they'll have to take a good hard look at me down here in Philadelphia.
When they look, they'll see that Schmidt's defense was still superb, too. Already the National League record holder for third baseman with 9 Gold Gloves, he's the odds-on favorite to win another.
My hitting, my fielding, and everything are sort of a sum total of all the experiences I've had over the years. I wouldn't say I'm at the top of my game as an all-around player because I don't have the legs to run the bases like I used to. I may not cover the ground at third base like I used to as a young player. I feel like I have the drive and the will to succeed, maybe much more now than I ever had in my career because I'm at the end, maybe one more active year of playing baseball. It's what I had to look forward to, and I'm trying to make the most of these last couple years.
You sure did make the most of this year, Mike, the most valuable. In the American League, Boston's Roger Clemens is our most valuable player. A difficult decision because he's not an everyday player, but there's no doubt about his credentials. Witness this historic outing in April against Seattle.
A new record. Clemens has set a major league record for strikeouts in a game. 20.
Clemens was Mr. Clutch for the Sox all season. 14 of his 24 wins followed Boston defeats. And after the All-Star break, when the Sox took a tumble by losing 11 out of 17, the 24-year-old fireballer collected 3 of their 6 wins.
It's been real tough with all the pressures and things like that each start. And I'm just going out there and trying to put numbers up on the board. But I consider myself lucky, and I put a lot of hard work into coming back. And it's all turned out for the best.
The Yankees' Don Mattingly was a mighty close second. Playing in every game, he hit .352, 31 homers, 113 RBIs, broke the team record for most hits in the season, 238, and doubles with 53. Clemens was the clear-cut choice for the Cy Young Award. League leader in wins at 24-4, ERA at 2.48, and second in strikeouts with 238. Congratulations, Roger. Mike Scott of Houston is our National League Cy Young winner. Scott clinched it for us when he clinched the West with a no-hitter against the Giants. Overall, racking up 18 wins, a league-leading 2.22 ERA, and 306 strikeouts. fourth pitcher in modern history to set down 300 in one season.
I think when you win, I think your confidence is always going to be better. I think when you go out there after you've been struggling, you're trying to figure out, well, you know, what am I going to do this time to get into trouble, and what's going to go wrong this time? And then when you're pitching well, you always figure out a way to win, and whether it be to strike out a guy here or get a pop-up or get a double play. And it seems like when you're winning, you get balls hit at people when you need to hit at people. You know, you'll be in trouble, and the next guy will hit a line drive into a double play. And when you get big win years, things like that happen.
The guy's been all world this year. Right now he's taken off where Nolan Ryan took off when he was a kid. You know, Mike Scott's turned into probably the best pitcher in the league in the last 2 years, and we wouldn't be here without him.
And that says it all. Great season for Great Scott. Reliever Todd Worrell of St. Louis is our National League Rookie of the Year. His 36 saves led the league. It also set a new rookie record. Worrell gives much of the credit to manager Whitey Herzog.
I think a lot of my success is due to the way he has used me, his effectiveness in using me in relief. And it was a slow progression. Even though it happened over a short period of time, he slowly worked me into the tougher and tougher situations. I know for myself, he showed a lot of confidence in me, in going to me. And even when I had a couple games that I struggled at, he didn't quit going to me. He came back to me a couple days later, the next day. So as a relief pitcher, he was showing a lot of confidence in me in doing that. And I think that makes a big difference in the way a reliever is going to approach his game. But once I get out there, you know, I'm at home. I feel good out there. I think all those worries subside and go away, and I can get down to business.
California's Wally Joyner gets the nod as American League Rookie of the Year. Joyner was just the spark the Angels needed to win the West, and he virtually carried the team through the season's first half. He finished with a .291 average, 22 homers, 100 RBIs, and a unique style.
I swing like Wally Joyner swings. I don't try and hit like anyone else. A lot of people have likened me to the Don Mattingleys, to the Billy Buckners, to a young Freddie Lynn. All those are compliments, and gives me confidence and gives me the attitude that some people might think that I can go a long way in this game. Hopefully I can, but right now I'm worried about doing anything I can to help the Angels win.
I think it's the weight programming went on in the winter in Puerto Rico, and the exposure of seeing a good pitching for year-round, and he saw what it would do if he developed certain muscles, and he went about it in a very professional way, and it's helped his stroke. I just make sure he makes all planes and buses, and we don't miss him, and he's on time every place we go.
Other candidates: Oakland's Jose Canseco, Seattle's Danny Tartabull, Texas Ranger Pete Incaviglia, but Wally won out. Texas Bobby Valentine, our pick as American League Manager of the Year. In '85, the Rangers lost 99 games and finished last. But this year, 87 wins in second place for a man who learned from two of the best.
There's no doubt that Tommy Lasorda has played a major part in influencing my life, not only as a manager, but as a person. I think I also had my most recent influence, though, from Davey Johnson, where I was there with him for a couple, 3 years, and he and Frank Cashin kind of took an organization from the bottom and turned it right around. And I think I learned a little from that. Hopefully I did, and hopefully that the same could be true right here in Texas and with the ball team I have.
Bobby Valentine, deep in the heart of Texas. Houston's Hal Lanier gets our vote as National League Manager of the Year. In his first season, Lanier guided the surprising Astros to a team record 96 wins and a Western Division crown.
Hal Lanier has brought optimism and aggressiveness, a confidence, an air that you know the right moves are going to be made at the right time. Hal just knows good baseball, and we appreciate that.
Hal Lanier has brought an aggressive attitude, no question, to the ball club. He's brought a demanding toughness that doesn't allow us to slack off in any way without hearing about it real quickly and hearing in a strong way. I would label him a real hard-nosed, tough-type guy.
Now it's time for this week's quiz, brought to you by Nissan, who invites you to test drive the new Go Anywhere Nissan Pathfinder at your Nissan dealer now. San Francisco's Mike Krukow beat Los Angeles on the season's final day for his 20th win. joining Dodger ace Fernando Valenzuela as the league's only 20-game winners this year. Krukow is 34 years old. Now, for this week's quiz, can you name the last pitcher to win 20 games after age 40? Stay tuned for a 300-game winner. National League Championship Series. Houston hosted the start. The series began at the Astrodome with several former Mets, now Astros, and one former Astro, now a Met. Tennis, anyone? Pitcher Mike Scott was a Met for the better part of 4 years when he was traded after the 1982 season to Houston for outfielder Danny Heap, who'd been with the Astros since 1979. Third baseman Ray Knight spent more than 2 seasons as an Astro before he was traded to New York in August of 1984. Houston coach Yogi Berra was a Met coach for 7 years and manager for 4, guiding the team to the World Series in '73, losing to Oakland in 7 games. Finally, there's Nolan Ryan, who began his career with New York and pitched in the '69 World Series against Baltimore. That's when the Miracle Mets won it all. American League Championship Series, a Boston beginning. As the series got underway at Fenway, the Angels and Red Sox also shared past personnel. Boston skipper John McNamara was manager of the Angels for 2 years before coming to the Red Sox. Second man in championship series history to skipper one team against another that he formerly managed. Billy Martin was at the helm for Oakland in '81 against the Yankees. Boston slugger Don Baylor had his best years with California, spending 6 seasons as an Angel. In '79, California won the West and Baylor won the American League MVP, hitting .296 with 36 home runs and a league-leading 139 RBIs. Angel Rick Burleson was the Boston shortstop for 7 years, including the pennant-winning season of '75. And then there's reliever Joe Sambito, who, although he was never an Angel, did pitch for both the Mets and Astros. Now let's open the notebook for This Week in Baseball's TWIB notes from around the majors. Yankee reliever Dave Righetti made history on the next to last day of the season in Boston.
Popped up into shallow center. Righetti should get the record. Randolph has got it, and the game is over. The Yankees have won. All of the Yankees coming out of the dugout, congratulating Dave Righetti on his 46th save as he sets a new saves record for Major League Baseball.
Righetti broke the old mark of 45, shared by Dan Quisenberry and Bruce Sutter. Hey, not bad for a pitcher who didn't even know if he'd be starting or relieving before the season began.
Lou said he's my guy. I'm not putting him in a starting rotation. Everybody started talking about that. He's going to be in the bullpen as long as I'm here, and he stuck by me. I said to myself, well, this guy's putting his head on the line for you. I said, let's go out there and do something right for him. And he'll be the first guy I go to because he stuck with me.
A wise decision. Way to go, Rags. When Detroit third baseman Darnell Coles cracked his 20th homer on the season's last day, the Tiger infield joined that of the 1940 Red Sox as the only ones with 20 homers from each member. Shortstop Alan Trammell hit 21 this season, second baseman Lou Whitaker blasted 20, and first baseman Darrell Evans delivered 29. The White Sox John Cangelosi got 50 steals to set an American League rookie record, breaking the mark set back in 1910 by the White Sox Raleigh Zeider. Aren't you glad you tuned in, folks?
The reason why I made the team is my on-base percentage, getting on, make things happen, like, so to speak, a spark plug. I'm satisfied in the job I'm doing so far, and the more games I get under my belt, the more relaxed I'll be, and everything will be fine.
Longtime third base coach Cal Ripken Sr. will take over as manager in Baltimore next year, replacing Earl Weaver, who suffered his first Major League losing season in 17 years as the O's finished last for the first time ever. Ripken will manage his son, shortstop Cal Jr., joining Connie Mack and Yogi Berra. Dwight Gooden of the New York Mets is known for strikeouts And in his final start of the regular season, he struck a record.
Fastball, strike three, and Dwight Gooden has become the first Major League pitcher in the history of the game to strike out 200 or more batters in his first 3 Major League seasons.
He had 276 and 268 his first 2 years. St. Louis finished last in team batting with a .236 average and last in homers with 58. No other team had less than 110. So get this, the entire Cardinal club hit fewer homers this season than New York Yankee Roger Maris 25 years ago when he slammed 61 to break Babe Ruth's record. How about that? Now, how about the answer to this week's Nissan quiz? Phil Niekro was the last pitcher to win 20 games after age 40, going 21-20 for Atlanta in 1979 after turning 40 right before the season began. And by the way, Warren Spahn was the oldest pitcher ever to win 20. The Hall of Famer was 42 when he went 23-7 for the Milwaukee Braves in 1963. Hey fans, let's look back on the career of a big league one-of-a-kind. Dick Allen caused controversy by doing things his own way. But when he did his thing on the field, he was among the best of his time. In 15 seasons, he blasted 351 homers, drove in more than 1,100 runs, and hit .292. Allen could do it all.
Everybody would like to be known as the complete ball player, and it's not all about run, hit, throw. There's other little things that has to be picked up in the game that makes you that good ball player, and I used to take a lot of pride in that because those are the things that would put us on the board. And as you know, we never did get a World Series ring, but came close.
The closest was with the '64 Phillies under skipper Gene Mauch.
I was with the Phillies my rookie year. Last thing I heard was, "Hey, Dick Allen, you ever play third base?" One time in high school, get a glove and go on over there. And that's how I wound up over there. So I remember my rookie year making something like 40 errors, but most of them were throwing. It wasn't because I couldn't catch the ball. See, it was a matter of not actually having that experience and knowing the hitters, but then got hurt before I had time to get better and better, and that's what moved me to the other side of the diamond.
Allen moved on to play for St. Louis and Los Angeles before having his best season with the Chicago White Sox.
We were able to make a trade for him. We gave a quality pitcher in Tommy John. But I really believe that Dick Allen saved the Chicago White Sox franchise. There's no question in my mind he had the greatest individual year of any player I've ever seen or managed. He carried us on his back. He was the Cadillac of the day. He was the man who, at the end of the year, they had to make him the most valuable player in the league because nobody did what he did. Nobody contributed like he did to a ball club.
It was 1972 when Allen hit .308 with 37 homers and 113 RBIs under fellow Western Pennsylvanian Chuck Tanner.
Well, he's from home. Very good man. He's from home. You can put your trust in him and you can get players to play. Overall, I guess I enjoyed my years playing with him more than any.
He never made a mistake on the bases. He knocked in a big run. He was the leader with the young ball players. And he had the finest year, or as fine a year as anybody ever had in the game. And it was an honor for me to be able to manage a great player like him.
In '75, Allen came back to Philadelphia with a desire to leave controversy behind him.
And I'd like everybody to know that right now. I'm not here to cause trouble or to stir up anything or bring back any of that old past action. I'm just here to make a contribution.
He spent 2 more years with the Phillies before playing his final season with Oakland.
Because of the reputation, the competitive attitude was there. Baseball has been very good. I'll never knock it. One of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. And gee whiz, all the good people and the good friends I've got to play with and against that made it what it was. I have no complaints.
Dick Allen, a genuine baseball individualist. And now, it's time for This Week in Baseball's 10th anniversary flashback. Let's flash back to 1979. The scene, Anaheim Stadium, Game 4 of the 1979 American League Championship Series. Earl Weaver's Baltimore Orioles led in games 2-1 over Jim Fragosi's California team, but the Angels were threatening when former Oriole and current Angel Doug DeCinces intervened.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Grounded. Oh, what a play by DeCinces! A double play! Oh, my! The play defensively of this series has just been made by Doug DeCinces.
All I can remember about that play was the fact that, you know, it was the chant going, "Yes, we can," in the stadium, and Anaheim Stadium was extremely loud at the time. And I don't even remember the ball, hearing the ball being hit. All I remember is seeing it, and everything else went into slow motion. It seemed like eternity making the play because, you know, I saw the ball off the bat, and, you know, I went to my limit to catch it, and then everything else, hooking the bag and standing up and throwing, letting the dirt fall out of my hand for a split second so I could throw the ball to first just seemed like a long time. After making the play, taking a couple of steps on the grass and suddenly hearing my feet hit the grass, from going from total, you know, chaos noise to just total silence was, you know, the only people I heard after that was my own teammates. Every once in a while I look at that because it was just so unique, and it was a situation that put us in a situation that we were going to win no matter what.
That was then, but for now, that's all, folks. See you next week on This Week in Baseball.
The Tribe takes on the Seattle Mariners in Channel 43's last baseball telecast of the season, tonight at 10, live from the Kingdome. The Herb Scores Sports Show is next on your favorite sports station, Channel 43.